Hi and welcome to my channel Lenette Looks, or welcome back. Today I'm going to be reviewing The Bride Test by Helen Hoang, and it is book 2, part of a trilogy. I already read book 1, which I reviewed before, so if you haven't seen that review of The Kiss Quotient, I will leave the link in the description box for you so you can watch that. This book can be read as a standalone. The connection in this book to The Kiss Quotient is because one of the main characters, the male lead in this story, in The Bride Test, he is the cousin of Michael, and Michael is also the lead male character in The Kiss Quotient. Let's get into it. The Bride Test follows Esme Tran. She's working as a cleaning lady in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. She is not from the very richest places. She's like from the poor neighborhood over there. She's not well off at all. She's living in the so-called slums of Ho Chi Minh City, as they say. She has love in her life with family, but she doesn't enjoy, being a cleaning lady. So one day she's cleaning and she's in the bathroom, I believe, and she's cleaning, and then this woman walks in and she is totally struck by Esme's beauty, because she is very beautiful as described, and she has these piercing green eyes. So the woman looks at her and she starts a conversation with her, and she says, my God, after they've been talking for a little bit, and she introduces herself and she says, have you ever thought about coming to the States? Have you ever thought about moving there, or relocating? And Esme is like, she has her family there, and she hasn't really made that move to leave in any way, but it would be nice. And the woman then gives her like an offer, and she says, you know what, my son, he's single, and I would love for you to meet him. Of course, she asked her if she's married, and she's not, she's single. So she then offers her a visa in exchange for Esme to go meet her son. Esme is kind of like shocked, and she's like, wow, she's always thought or dreamed about like going to the United States, but it was always just, a dream for her. And so the woman proposes that she goes to California, where she lives, to meet her son, and basically she wants to be this matchmaker, and hopefully they can kind of like get married, basically. So and she can stay with them for the summer, and hopefully they make a good match, and Esme can work her magic in some way and they can fall in love. So anyway, she proposed that, and Esme absolutely has to think about it, and then she agrees to do that, because she figures even if it doesn't work out, she would be able to go to the States. And she's always wanted to find her dad, because Esme is of mixed race. Her mom is Vietnamese, but her dad is not Vietnamese. He is a white American, and she hasn't had a relationship with him, but she does know that he is living in the United States, and she thinks it's in California, I believe. She agrees to go. So Esme now is in California. She leaves everything. She drops her job and everything like that, and she goes to stay with them in California. So she meets the woman's son, and his name is Kai, and they are very well off as far as financially. They're pretty well, and they live pretty well. And she soon finds out that Kai is not really interested in getting married at all. He's not interested in finding love or falling in love. So this is going to be a heavy task for her, because he's set in his ways. He doesn't really feel like he can give love. And one thing about Kai is that he is also autistic, and if you have read The Kiss Quotient or you've seen my other review, you know that the main character, the female character, was also autistic. So in this case, the author, Helen Hoang, who is also autistic, and that's why she made it a priority to base her main characters as autistic, high functioning autistic people, because she is living that life as well. So she has a lot to add to the story in those characters. She felt like she wanted to portray an autistic person that was against the stereotypical way that you would think of an autistic person. And she says that in an interview that I read, and she says she wants to break the stereotype, you know, and this character in particular is totally different than the main character in the Kiss Quotient, and they both have their different ways about them that the autism expresses itself. So in his case, he feels like he cannot express love, or that feeling of love, or have that type of connection with somebody. And there's another underlying thing that happened in his life that is super huge, that slowly gets revealed as the story goes on, and you realize what it is that's holding him back. And it totally breaks that characteristic as far as what Helen Hoang, the author, had stated that she had experienced, where people would say, oh, autistic people don't have feelings, or they can't love. She's like, that's totally not true. And the story does express that and show that in him, because you do learn what is it that's holding him back. And there's a deeper part, a huge part in his life that happened, that he experienced, that totally contributes to him feeling that way. And I was so enjoying this, learning about him, learning about who he is as a person and why he is the way he is. And also Esme, in meeting him and her finding and stumbling through trying to get to know this guy. They soon find out more about each other, and the way they interact, and the way they become friends. There's a point where she feels like it's just not gonna happen. He's dead set against finding love, so she, you know, gets a little down and out. And this woman, Esme, she has the courage to go out to California, pretty much by herself, without her family, and she does not know English. She like barely knows English. And I think this story is a beautiful romantic comedy, because it is funny. There are many funny parts. There are many heartwarming, touching parts to this story. And I really, in this one, as opposed to the first book of this series, I felt more connected with the characters. The story was much deeper. The conversation, the plot, it was just totally different. And one thing is for sure that I totally enjoyed was watching Esme, seeing her journey, because her journey, you find, isn't when she goes to the States, it has a lot more to do with self-love and also, you know, finding love, but the journey of loving herself enough to find the courage to do certain things. Like she wanted to learn English, and she stumbles and she tries, despite the fact that she's embarrassed and insecure being in a foreign place. And she really does, like, it's a story of conquering your fears. It's a story of finding who you are, you know, bit by bit, and holding on to your strengths when you're totally feel like you have nothing else to give, like you're trying to lift yourself up. And I really enjoyed the story. And as a bonus, you get to see these two strangers come together and really find themselves having a relationship, the falls and ups and downs and challenges. And it was deeper than I thought it would be, because as I said before, I didn't know why the first book was nominated as one of the top books other than certain things that I discussed in the review, you know, it was very hot and steamy, where this had a beautiful balance of romance, relationships, family, loss, heartache, just life, finding yourself, finding out more about what you thought you wanted, and then realizing that life can be so much more. So the story is not just about romance. So Esme doesn't have much education. She doesn't know English. She's in a foreign place. They do make her feel, his mom does make her feel like at home, and gives her work and a job and everything like that. And she's able to get her firm footing on the ground, you know, little by little, bit by bit, as she's trying to also find romance with this guy, because if they're not a match, then she's gonna go back to Vietnam and go back to cleaning, and she does not look forward to that. So she really wants to make it, you know, go right. And in the meantime, she's trying to improve herself, you know, every day in the process while living there. Finding her way through all that is super inspiring. And I think that if you like romantic comedies, if you want to have a story that also has like a twist to it, and there's mystery in it, because there is a secret that Esme is holding on to, and I was shocked that she didn't at least tell him midway through. He didn't learn about her secret until way further down the road. But she has a secret that she's keeping, and she's not saying what it is, and she's afraid that if he found out her secret, maybe he wouldn't want her. So she wants to get to know him first before he has any judgment about that secret. So, which I feel like could have been something great to tell him, but I guess with all her insecurities, she just didn't want to add anything to it. She just wanted him to see her and get to know her first before anything else. So yes, she has a secret. He also has something that gets revealed, as I said before, and you will find out like what that thing is that is holding him back. Their secrets are both pretty substantial, because their relationship could not go anywhere without those two things being revealed. And Kai's brother, he's a cool guy, and he's very extroverted, very outspoken. He's funny. He keeps it real with him, which is really nice. It's refreshing. And so he like drops some comedy in there every once in a while with his sayings and everything. And I like their relationship. They both have a best friend in one another. He knows everything about Kai and all the reasons why he would love to see Kai fall in love. And when he meets Esme, he's like blown away that, wow, like Kai, you're not like going for her. Like, she's gorgeous, and she has these beautiful green eyes to top it off, you know, like it's very uncommon where you meet somebody with green eyes. So I think that that was like the cherry on top. When Kai's brother saw her, he's like, whoa, like what's wrong with you? But Kai is like dead set on not getting close to anyone in that way, where, you know, feelings are going to be more than what he feels like he can handle. So anyway, guys, I gave this book 4 stars. I thought it was super refreshing, beautiful story, and I totally recommend it. It is the sophomore book in a trilogy. So I do intend on reading the 3rd book, because I enjoyed this one a lot more than the Kiss Quotient. I did like the Kiss Quotient, but it's not as much as I liked this one, The Bride Test. And the 3rd book that I will be reading in this series is The Heart Principle, and I can't wait to start reading that. So you have to read The Bride Test to find out if Esme and Kai do fall in love in the end. And I think that you will be blown away and super inspired by the story. by Esme and what she's able to accomplish in the process. Some behind the scenes information about the author and what she was inspired by, or who she was inspired by to write The Bride Test. And she was actually inspired by her mother's own personal struggles and her own personal story. Her mother is a Vietnamese refugee who had the strength and courage to find a new life and to find herself and overcome barriers that she herself had in being a foreigner in a new place, and just finding the strength to overcome all of the challenges that there were for her. So that was a personal story that she brought into this. And so Esme was born with her mother's story in mind, and I guess her mother would be Esme. She did create the character Kai with her own struggles in mind, on how autistic people have this false characteristic portrayed about them, that they have no feelings. And she said that when she was younger, she would get told that she has a stone heart, and that's totally false. And she doesn't like that stereotype that's put on autistic people, and for that reason she created Kai. And I really enjoyed learning about him, learning who he is, and the type of person that he becomes toward the end. Both main characters totally grow throughout the story, and it's really nice because I remember reading a book and it's like none of the characters, you would think with all the things that they went through, in the end they evolved and became kind of like bloomed, you know. They became different people because they went through some things, you know, and then they found themselves stronger in the end. And this story really does showcase that. So that's a win for me when I'm reading a book. I love to see the changes in characters as they're experiencing things in life, and the lessons learned, you know. Again, I recommend this book. I hope you do get a chance to read The Bride Test. And if you've read it and you've gotten this far in this video, please comment. What did you think about the book? Did you enjoy it? And are you gonna read book 3, The Heart Principle? So on that note, guys, I will see you on the next one. Thank you.